And I will call the meeting to order for June 11th, 2020. And we will begin with a call of the roll. Mr. McGlasson?
Munson?
Here.
Thomas?
Yes.
Githens?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Here.
Piedmont Smith?
Here.
Jones? Swafford?
Here.
Have a quorum.
Thank you. So today's agenda includes meeting minutes and a meeting memorandum, which I think is also called minutes.
That is my error. I apologize. I
Okay.
did not update when I updated the agenda. Those are
That's okay.
minutes.
Okay, very good. The controller's report, a resolution regarding holiday schedule for the district, department reports, public comment, and comments from our directors. So the first item, the executive committee meeting minutes of May 4th are included in the packet for your information. And item 2, the board meeting minutes of May 14th, 2020, we could use a motion to have approval of these minutes.
I move up. Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, I believe we need to have a roll call vote because this is a Zoom meeting. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Thank you. Mr. McGlasson, will you call the vote, please?
Hamilton?
This is for the May 14th minutes, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, the board of directors meeting.
Yes.
Githens?
Yes.
Swafford?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Munson?
Yes.
Piedmont Smith?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving right along to the controller's report. First, we'll hear from Ms. Hudson about cash flows.
Connie, you're muted.
Connie, you are muted.
There you
she
go.
goes. Can we hear you? Ooh.
Sounds awful.
Ooh, and she just disappeared.
Her video's off. That might help.
She's back on without.
Without video. Go ahead, Connie.
She's walking down the hallway. Hang on.
She's unmuted.
Yeah, that's fine. Sit down.
Oh, we have a change of seats.
Move along, Tom.
Great.
Okay. The cash flow. Our operating balance is $1,650,578.10. Our closure bond debt is $11,103.97. Our capital is at $45,413.60. And our landfill post-closure is at $763,655.86.
Thank you. Do any board members have questions or comments? Ms. Piedmont Smith.
Yes, I'm wondering if our usual revenues that we usually receive in June are expected to be delayed this year.
We have not heard anything from the county on our property tax revenue that's to be in by June 30th.
Okay, but since it's usually due in, what is it, May? And now it's been extended, there may be some repercussions there as far as our cash flow.
I think we have enough cash balance to get us through.
Right.
I know the auditor's working on the settlement. I don't know, Cheryl, if you have an update on that.
I do not.
Okay, well, I think we could send out an update, get an update sent from the auditor's office to to Connie. That would be good. Just an update on where things are with settlement.
Okay, and then
Okay.
Connie can distribute it to board members.
Yes.
Very good. Mr. Hamilton.
Thank you. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to stay the whole meeting, so I just wanted to kind of make an observation and ask a consideration, I suppose. As has been indicated, obviously there may be some bumps and changes in the flows of resources, and I know we have some uncertainty as we go forward with the contracts for services. But I can't help notice, and I know in the city we're thinking hard about how difficult the economic situation is for everyone. And I just want to raise the question whether the resources that we have that have climbed each year since 2016 in terms of cash reserves, which is a great position to be in, I just want to ask whether there are any activities or appropriate investments of that could help our community as we go forward. And I don't have anything specific in mind. I just know that in a way those cash reserves are meant to protect against danger, which is appropriate, threats to the ongoing operation, and that's really important to preserve. But I know at the city, we're also looking at those kind of rainy day funds. This is a rainy day, and to the extent that we can play a counter-cyclical role, helpful in the community, in our world, the solid waste management world, I'd ask our leadership to think about both the propriety and prudence of that, which I welcome their views on, but also any ideas they might have where we could help in that solid waste recycling, reusing world, whether there's ways over the next year or two that we might deploy those resources as they've continued to grow in our balance sheet. So I thank you for the graph, which helps show that kind of healthy reserves. And I forget if we ever set an exact reserve policy, but I just wanted to raise that question and ask people to think about it and at the right time kind of get back to us.
Thank you. Ms. Piedmont Smith.
Yes, I think that we need to keep in mind that we do have a deficit budget this year and probably will next year unless we make staff cuts, which of course we do not want to do. So that may be over time where our reserves go. But I do appreciate Mayor Hamilton's point about government being counter-cyclical and looking at if there's perhaps something we can do for the benefit of the community as a whole. But I would urge us to be conservative given our deficit budget.
Other questions, comments? See none, let us continue with Ms. Hudson's report. She has payroll and claims. And Ms. Piedmont Smith, would you offer a motion in regard to payroll and claims?
Yes, I move approval of payroll and claims as in our board packet, plus the addendum that was sent via email yesterday.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Ms. Hudson.
Okay, our payroll and claims are in order with pre-approved claims of $131,148.78. Today, I'm asking approval of $19,406.56 for a total of $150,555.34.
Thank you. Are there questions or comments for Ms. Hudson? Ms. Piedmont Smith.
I know I've asked this before, and I do apologize if the answer has been given before, but on the payroll or the claims that were sent yesterday by email, there's $7,550 for Anderson Excavating and Lawn for mowing and trimming. Can you explain what we actually pay for mowing for which facilities and how many times, like how frequently we pay that? Because it
Okay,
seems like an
that-
awfully lot of money, but maybe if that's covering everything, then
Okay, that particular one is the mowing at the landfill, Lee.
Yeah, that's Nate Anderson's company. They mow. Do I have that up? Yep. They mow the entire landfill. So it's close to 100 acres up and down the hills. The weed trimming to and from the 3 new wells that we had installed last year, the year before last. So that's a very fair rate. We have a contract with Nate that we mow the entire landfill twice. And then like we just finished our first mowing, and then the middle mowing, which he'll do July-ish, end of July, first part of August, where he just mows the trash hills. Otherwise, the grass grows so tall that when he does mow it, like it's taller than his tractor. So, and then possibility of hitting things that are there and damaging things that don't need to be damaged. And but yeah, but it takes him a good, like 2 big tractors with like they call them bat wings, like bush hogs that lay over like that. I mean, he's like 5, 6, 7 days of consistent mowing to mow all that stuff.
so we have a total mow of the whole landfill twice a year, and then once we have a partial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Because when the state comes and does their inspection, which I don't know when they'll do this year, they like to be able to see what they want to see and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And if we've learned over time that if we don't have that middle mowing, the grass is too much, and then he actually has to mow it twice. So it's this works out much better to keep and plus it helps us identify places that we need to work on erosion control and issues that we need to work on.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Paulson.
And what was the cost of that?
7,550, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there other questions for Ms. Hudson? Well, I have one, and I want to thank Ms. Piedmont Smith for bringing up the mowing matter, because I just hate to think all that grass going to waste when it could be turned into baled hay. I suppose the state does not allow that to take place at a closed landfill.
I don't know the answer to that, but the pitch and the slope of those hills would not be safe to be pulling that kind of equipment around. And that's, I mean, there's really not a lot of space to like harvest hay, where he would get enough of a long run to be able to cut stuff down without the shape of the hills, I guess the best way to put that. I mean, the hills are pretty steep, and you know, when you get the methane vents and the various riprap channels and stuff like that, there's really not a place to get it, you know. And some of the angles of that stuff too is even cautious. Then he hits a wet spot or something, and it just I don't think that would ever be realistically feasible to be safe to do something like that.
Are you suggesting, Ms. Munson, that we have goats?
I wish there were ways to have goats or sheep. Sheep are much more easily confined.
How many
And
would it take? That would be kind of fun. It'd take a lot, probably.
That would need a lot of goats. We'd need a lot of goats to take care of 100 acres.
And
And
then
I'd
we
need a
would
lot of
need,
animals out there to protect against the coyotes and the feral dogs too.
so that we would have to have dogs to help protect the goats or the sheep,
And a shepherd.
Dogs and
and a
donkeys.
shepherd.
It's a whole employment plan we got already.
Well, Having harvested hay from some steep hillsides, I'm a cautious person. I will take what you say as a matter of course. But I would like to know, just out of curiosity, if there is some way to harvest hay from the gentler slopes. So
Yeah,
when
I mean,
you
I can try to talk with Tom about that and see if there's, you know, and
Mhm.
talk with Nate and try to see what that would look like. And then, yeah, we can get back to you about something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So other questions on payroll and claims? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. And do you want,
Piedmont Smith,
thank
Yes.
you.
Thomas,
Yes.
Jones, Munson,
Yes,
Hamilton,
Yes.
Swafford,
Yes.
Githens, Penny.
Yes, sorry, I was muted.
But she couldn't hear. Okay,
thank you. That passes. And we're ready to move on to a resolution that I'm hoping Mr. McGlasson will return to present to us. Let us have a motion regarding resolution 2020-05.
Yes, Madam President, I move that resolution 2020-05, which is to amend resolution 2020-03, which was to amend resolution 2019-13 to establish the 2020 district holiday schedule, be adopted.
Thank you.
We get all
we have
that?
You got it. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Mr. McGlasson, would you like to go through these sequence of amendments? I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, hopefully it is pretty straightforward. The gist of it is, because of the change in election holiday and the change in our scheduling, the operating schedule of our facilities, we had the election day holiday that a number of employees did not get because the facilities were closed. And the resolution is an attempt to provide them a floating holiday to give them that holiday back, because under the current schedule, all employees, all regularly scheduled employees at the recycling centers are scheduled for their normal weekly hours, even though we're on an abbreviated schedule. So they in essence got cheated out of a holiday they should have been entitled to, and this is an attempt to get that back to them.
Thank you. Discussion about the resolution? Comments or questions? I see none. Mr. McGlasson, we'll have a roll call vote.
Swafford.
Yes.
I see that the mayor has exited. Thomas,
Yes.
Githens,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes,
Munson.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Next we'll have department updates, and we'll start with Mr. McGlasson.
Yeah, just one thing, in addition to my written report, just to make members of the board and any public that's watching or listening aware, to follow suit with what county government is doing. We are prepared to make the administration building open to the public by appointment only, beginning this coming Monday, the 15th. So that would be for both district staff and the Purdue Extension Services staff. So we've set our education room up as a designated meeting area. We'll have ample room to allow for, if necessary, more than one meeting to occur and still maintain social distancing and try to keep everybody safe. So did make sure everybody is aware of that. Otherwise, I've provided you just an update on what our current operating schedule is for our various facilities, as well as an anticipated timeline for the budget review and approval process. And beyond that, happy to answer any questions or provide any more information that you need.
So I think it's very important for the board members to review the planned schedule because it starts fairly soon, July 9th, and it carries us through August 13th, which is our board of directors meeting to approve the budget.
I have a question, if I might.
Please.
So if we're talking about the budget at July 9th meeting, does that mean that the executive committee will be looking at it at the end of June at their executive committee meeting? Is that correct?
Yes, that would be the plan.
We'll
Yes.
need to do that.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just the very first presentation, that it's actually something
Right.
that's been vetted a little. Okay, good. Thank you.
So, and I think I don't have my calendar open at this time. That meeting is scheduled for the 30th,
June 29th.
29th. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Can we also make sure that the CAC is invited as part of a joint meeting? Either maybe at the August, solid waste district meeting? Is that how we're going to do that?
Well, actually what Tom proposed was a July 16th meeting with the Citizens Advisory Committee. That's their regularly scheduled meeting. And then they could come join us at the
Right.
August meeting.
Right. I just would like to have one of those joint meetings with them again. I think it's a good time to do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
If I could, I mean, I just kind of just to kind of ask straw poll here for the members of the board. The CAC is scheduled to meet on the July the 16th, and then our board is scheduled to meet on August the 13th, which would and the August meeting is generally when our budget is voted on by our board to get it moved on to the council for adoption in time for them to do all of their stuff. So we have the August 13th and July 16th meetings already scheduled, one for each body. Does the board have a preference? Would the board want to try to make accommodations to be in attendance at the CAC meeting on July the 16th? Or do we want to invite the CAC members to attend the board meeting on August the 13th?
Ms. Piedmont Smith.
I would go with July 16th, the earlier meeting, in case, there are any concerns brought forward, so we have time to make adjustments.
Comments from other board members? Ms. Thomas?
I'm also not clear on why August 7th is, the packet's distributed and it says August 13th, second reading. So are you saying the first reading's July 9th? That's even before the CAC meeting. That's not a vote, it's just a reading, correct?
It is.
Correct. That's an introduction.
Okay,
of the
I just want to make
budget.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Other questions or comments? Thank you. Mr. McGlasson, do you have anything further?
Well, I will check with the CAC membership and get with them on their willingness to a joint meeting and see if we can get that scheduled. And again, that's why I asked. Ms. Piedmont Smith is the only one I've seen suggested we try to have board members attend the CAC meeting on the 16th, and I'm sure that they would be open to that. But if there's a preference in order to have as many board members present as possible to get CAC members to the board meeting on August the 13th, we can certainly and ask and encourage them to attend then.
Thank you. I'd like to ask, do we anticipate that we will be having Zoom meetings in late July and August?
I don't know.
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
The public access counselor has provided information to us regarding how our meetings can be conducted. And yes, we're allowed to do Zoom meetings, but our preference right now is going to be sort of to move to a hybrid at that point where the public access counselor says we have to have in-person meetings, is to also have them on Zoom at the same time to allow more people to participate and continue working in that model in the future. It's more work for our technical services staff, but they're doing a great job. And I think the community really appreciates being able to have an option of actually showing up at a meeting in person or attending via Zoom. So even according to what I understand, yes, we can hold in-person meetings. And in fact, we may be required to hold an in-person meeting, but what we'll have to do is get some legal advice regarding how many people have to be in the room versus how many people can attend virtually who are members of the committee to make a quorum. So that information will be forthcoming, I'm sure.
Good, thank you. Ms. Githens.
Awesome. Mr. McGlasson, would you send us out an invite to the CAC meeting to know how that's going to be conducted, where, that kind of thing?
Yes, yeah. I
Thank
will.
you.
Let me get with Rhonda Cox, the CAC chair, and make sure the CAC is on board, agreeable, and with what we're proposing to do, and we'll get information and invitations sent out to the board members to the correct meeting.
Good, thank you. Ms. Piedmont Smith.
So at what date will we need to resume in-person meetings for the purposes of voting? Do we know that yet?
We don't know.
I think as it stands now, after July 4th, unless it's extended again, we have to start having in-person meetings again.
Yes.
That is my understanding. So
That's the date I have. But again, legal is going to give us some more information on that hopefully next week.
and the fact that if we do both meetings, I don't think the board members can call in Zoom. It's just
Right.
would be the public. Is that right?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what I think.
Okay.
So in our packets, there will be information about how the meeting is to be held and where. Okay, thank you. Anything further from Mr. McGlasson? Then let us hear from Mr. Morgan. Welcome back, Scott Morgan.
Thank you.
We're ready to hear your report.
In addition to my written report, I wanted to mention that with all the changes that are going on schedule-wise, our staff has done a great job. They've really adjusted well to heeding the 8-car limit. They've done a really good job of everything. So business as usual to the extent we can. And they've done a really good job of meeting the demands of the recycling areas and trying to coordinate all the activities with the public. So business as usual, more or less.
Thank you. Questions, comments for Mr. McGlasson? Ms. Piedmont Smith?
For Mr. Morgan,
I mean, Mr. Morgan, sorry.
how have the consumers or patrons of our facilities been as far as social distancing and mask wearing?
They've adjusted well. Not everybody's wearing a mask by any means, but short of mandating it, they're doing pretty well. They're just not, everybody's not wearing a mask, but they're doing pretty well with it.
Good, thank you.
Have there been any complaints from the public as far as, I mean, I know we can't we can't enforce and make people wear masks. I think there may have been one email exchange, Mr. McGlasson, that I was part
Mhm.
of. Were there any other
There-
concerns from the public?
We did have early on, particularly when we were limited to, to 2 or 3 days a week, we were getting some complaints, about the number of people in the facilities. That's ultimately what led to the policy on the 8-car limit. Since we have gone to the 4-day-a-week schedule, I have not been made aware of any complaints that we've received regarding waits in line, regarding, again, I've heard comments about not everybody's wearing a mask, practicing social distancing, but I don't know that anybody has directly complained about that. So I think since we've gone to the 4 days a week, customers have at least been, I don't know about, I say happy, but at least have been more agreeable to what we're doing with the sites and their ability to get in and out and use the facility.
How is the one person through the week working out and 2 on Saturday? Is that still going pretty smoothly?
It's going very well. We're not near as busy during the week necessarily. We are busy on Saturdays, and the 2 people are able to manage it currently.
Good, thank you. Anything further, Ms. Piedmont Smith?
I remember now the email exchange I think that I was copied on was about the reuse center at South Walnut, and that somebody was upset that we did not have that open for, arts and crafts projects, that sort of thing.
You're right, I had forgotten. That was a recent email, and that was an individual that's part of a nonprofit group that utilized that facility for some of the work that they did, and disappointed that was not a resource that was currently available to him, and we don't have the space to store massive amounts of materials, or the manpower to try and disinfect things that come in, and so for us to operate a reuse program under the current circumstances is just logistically really not a possibility for us, and that's why we've elected to suspend those programs at this time and until things with the virus get more under control and manageable.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's wise.
Other questions for Mr. Morgan? Thank you. Then we'll move on to Mr. Paulson's report.
Yeah, at this time, there's really nothing new to add to that report. Mary Beth and I have been handling everything routinely that's been going on, and everything is kind of part of the course right now. That's about it.
Questions for Mr. Paulson? Ms. Githens?
Yeah, in your memo, you say that you're working with the auditor's office to complete the paperwork for IDEM that has to be in June 15th. Where's that stand?
Last I knew, it's still at the auditor right now. An email's been sent to that person. We're just waiting for their response so that we can put our document together and submit that.
I've been working with the auditor's office. We've trying to be an understanding of the gap reporting stuff that they're in the middle of right now, and it's kind of monopolizing their time. But Ms. Smith is aware of the June 15th submission deadline, and been communicating with her, and I'm hopeful that she will get the documents to us so that we can get those sent out tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Piedmont Smith?
I just wanted to say I like the new adopt a road map. That's really cool.
That is.
Yeah, thanks. That took a little bit of work to get to, but it seems to be up pretty good. It's much easier to send people that are interested to that than trying to send a spreadsheet and go to Google Map kind of thing. So I'm thankful we were able to get that done.
Well, I hope we can keep that map before the public in other ways, maybe with some of the education programming, because we have many orphan roads that do need pickup.
Okay.
I have one question on the map. So there are red lines and then there are dark blue, thicker blue lines. What's the difference?
Mm.
I believe the red lines are, I don't have that pulled up right now. So, I mean, either red is adopted or red is available.
Well, there's,
And then it's vice versa for the other one. And then I believe, and I've got a third one on there, which are ones that have been not approved. Like the county has said they're not safe, so they would not be okay for the Adopt a Road program. I believe that's either in purple or dark black. But there should be, if you find the road that you're interested in, if you can make it big enough and put your cursor over the road, a little window will open up and it will say available or adopted.
Okay, I see it now. So the red ones are adopted.
Okay,
And
yeah, okay.
the blue ones are available and then the black ones are denied.
Yes, denied. Yeah, there you go. I'm just trying to make sure I don't remember the right, the same language that, right offhand.
and that's something you have to realize. I mean, we administer the program, but ultimately, the city of Bloomington and Monroe County, have final say in what roads can and cannot be included in the program.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. Are there other questions for Mr. Paulson? Okay, let's turn to public comment, and I would like to ask our meeting host if there are any members of the public who have raised their hand with the little hand symbol wishing to comment.
I do not see anybody who has raised their hand wishing to comment.
Okay. And before we leave this, if there are people watching the Zoom and you don't know how to raise your hand, Mr. Egan, would you describe that for them, please?
Oh, let me find it real quick.
I think it's under
Under participants.
participants. I found it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh. Sorry, I haven't hosted one of these for a little while, so I'm
Okay.
a little rusty. I apologize.
it's under participants.
Yep.
It just shows 10 participants and that includes cats, so we have
Yeah.
everybody showing.
Yeah,
We
I
do.
don't think that there's anybody else aside from us.
Okay.
So
So now let's turn to comments from the directors. Anybody wish to make a comment? And I see none. At that point, we are ready to adjourn unless there's any objection. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are
Thank
adjourned
you.
until our next meeting.